Most important thing to us here at the butcher shop is sanitation and making sure that we have everything wholesome, clean, and everything's in a good environment for you guys so that we're keeping everything clean and sanitary. So this is our cutting room. You may or may not have seen a cutting room here before, but basically this is where we do everything here at the butcher shop. We got our saws, our tables, grinders, another secondary saw that we keep all of our beef and pork products separate from one another. That way we have separation of species. Either by time or space, and by that I mean either we cut our beef first and then move on to pork, or we just keep them on separate sides of the room. So again, here at the butcher shop, everything needs to be clean, sanitary. We have a great cleanup guy that comes in here, works his tail off every night, make sure that when we roll in here, we spot check anything and make sure everything's clean, sanitary, and ready to go. So now that we're back here, we've already checked the room out, made sure it's clean. We have our meat that we pulled out of the counter. We're gonna assess each and every single tray, top to bottom, go through it. If there's anything that needs to be cut, refreshened, be taken out to go to our meat packs or whatever that case may be. But we're just gonna go through each and every individual tray and go through it and go ahead and prepare the best product that we can here at the butcher shop for you guys. All right, I got my son Nick here. He puts the counter in most every single day by himself. Today, I get the pleasure of being back here with him and going through the counter so we can do this video, but he normally puts this counter in each and every single day. He does a great job making sure that the product's fresh and looks the best as it can for you. So what Nick has here on the table right now is he has a top sirloin, one of our more popular cuts here at the butcher shop. So what he's doing here is he's removing any of the bone scab that's still attached to the top sirloin from when the beef was boned out. That's there because if you don't ride on the bone and make sure you remove all the meat from the bone, then you're wasting money by leaving it on the bone and unsellable products with meat. So we go back through, we trim everything up, get any of the bone scab, any of the heavy gristle, fat, connective tissues that we don't deem acceptable for our steaks to go into the meat counter. So the first thing we do is we trim everything. Right now he's taking what we call a face cut. That first cut has some extra gristle, connective tissue, and stuff like that in it that we don't like to have on our steaks and you would not like to have on your plate when you barbecue. So he takes that first face cut. We're going to discard that. We're going to go through it a little farther, extract the sinew, get rid of it, and the good savable stuff will go ahead and either become stew meat or it will become burger. So that we provide a good quality burger for you guys. We make sure we extract any of that stuff that we don't deem is good enough for steaks, probably also not good enough for our hamburger, so it does not go into the hamburger. It may go into dog food or something like that. We cut our steaks a good solid inch thick. That way they grill up real nice. If you like a medium rare steak, you have the option of doing that. If you like it more well done, you can just cook it a little bit farther. He's getting here to the end. He's trying to make sure that he maximizes the most amount of meat possible out of that top sirloin and minimizes the most amount of waste or stew meat or something that's a lesser quality item out of there. So now that he's got the item staked out, he's going to go ahead and go through the trim, remove the fat, come up with any stew meat that he deems as stew meat, and anything that's not stew meat, 100% lean, non-gristly, non-connective tissue, that'll go into hamburger, and the fat that's in that in that trim for the hamburger is what gives it all that extra flavor. Our hamburger becomes 85% lean, and we make sure that we have a good quality hamburger for you guys. So he's got the top sirloin here now that he's cut. He's got the top sirloins that were in the counter from the day before. He's going to take that tray apart. The fresh cut items are always going to go on the bottom. The good news is here at the butcher shop, we cut these probably 5 to 6 times a day, maybe more if it's a Friday or Saturday or a busy day at the shop. So nothing is ever old. It's always fresh. It just may be 2 hours old instead of, 3 hours old. So the steaks that he's got here, so what he's doing is he's assessing the situation of the steak. So if we can just take a quick look at this steak right here. If you look, you have this brown spot in the middle. So what that's from is the night before the steak paper got pulled off for a customer and the steak on top of it was touching right here. So the way that this works, as the hemoglobin in the blood of the beef, when it's cut, it has kind of almost a pale, dull color to it. This is the one that we just cut here. As the air is exposed to that, it's going to brighten the product up and give it a nice, brilliant red color. That's only going to last for so long. In the meat business, we call that blooming out. As it blooms out, it holds its color, then it's slowly going to fade. So anytime You remove the oxygen by touching another piece of meat to it, it's gonna turn dark. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this steak other than it doesn't have the same eye appeal that a fresh cut steak's going to have. So we take this steak, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's the other side of the steak. Still could eat fantastic. That's what's gonna end up on our meat pack. So the same quality, prime grade top sirloin that we carry in the counters is what's going to end up in the meat pack for you guys when you come in. It just may have a dark spot like that, but it does not affect the quality at all. It just doesn't have the same eye appeal. So we're gonna take this steak, discard it, put it in meat packs, and we're gonna go ahead and retray our fresh cut steaks that we have here. And if we don't have enough to fill the tray, we'll just cut another one.